Illarí. I use she, her pronouns, and I think that, much like talking in front of all of you, this program really changed me in the sense that I think when I first started out, it really, really scared me. Mostly in the sense that I think that being in a place where you get to create with a bunch of other people who are also really struggling to find themselves is just a very unique experience. I feel like you don't get that experience that much once you yeet into adulthood. And it's rather unfortunate, it really is. The process of second puberty and transitioning for me, I think, has been so terrifying for such a long time, in the sense that I think both as a trans person, as an indigenous person, as an autistic person, I've just lived my life with this really, really strong sense of hypervigilance. I grew up in the Midwest, and I feel like just everything that my life has put me through really made me constantly on the lookout for how people were perceiving me, how people were, I guess, affected by me, per se. And I think that just recognizing that I had a difference in me is something that I didn't really reconcile with until recent years. And I think being part of this cohort really, really taught me that I'm allowed to have agency in this process of self-creation, that I get to choose who I let in, and I get to choose who gets to co-create myself. And I think that that is something that has felt really, really exhilarating, and also even more scary, because I feel like now I'm trying to take that out in the practice of my day-to-day life. And it's really hard in the adult world, but nonetheless, I think that I'm leaving this program feeling much more dedicated to keeping myself open to the right things and the right people, and just inhabiting the love for myself and the love for the world that I want to see around me. The print that I decided to speak on today, it was the very last print that I did, and it's titled, "My God is Going Feral on the Dance Floor." And the print in itself is one that I think I feel very, very connected to. It's very important to me because it was, I think, the first print that I made from a place of joy, of love, really. I spent a lot of the time making my other three prints from a place of teenage angst. I think I was feeling a lot of grief over the course of this program, and I had originally come into it, I think, really wanting to connect with my own ancestry, connect with my indigeneity, connect with how that related to my transness, and to find joy in that. We really just live in a world that I think teaches us to take the marginalized and disenfranchised parts of our identities and see them as something that comes from this place of loss. I really, really felt that when I was trying to do the same in school. And the very first print I made based off of this Quechua, or this concept in Quechua philosophy called Aini that I researched, which is essentially this principle of sacred reciprocity. It's this idea that the ultimate goal of society is to build a kinship, essentially, where in a material sense, we live lives where any excess that we receive from the world, from the land that we live on, and from our community, we give to those around us in need, and that we have a similar trust to receive when we ourselves are in need. And I think that researching that part of my own identity is something that made me feel a lot of anger. Is it just not the world we live in? I think both in a material sense, but also in an emotional sense. I don't think that we really live in a society where we are encouraged to open ourselves up. It's not safe. Like, I feel like a very critical part of being a teenager that transitioning has now put me through again, whether I like it or not, is this joy, this realization of like, oh, I have the agency to go out and explore the world and try and discover who I am and show that to other people, only to be met with a very intentionally cruel and unkind world. And this piece I drew is based off of a design from traditional Quechua weaving, and it is based off of a condor. And the condor in Quechua mythology usually serves as this messenger, usually serves as a messenger of the divine, essentially, much like a lot of other birds of prey, especially birds of prey associated with death. And I think that kind of, I guess, like what I talked about earlier, a lot of the places that I feel the most free are on the dance floor, are in places where I can lower all of these boundaries that the world has forcibly made me create inside of myself, and just be free. And I think I get to experience that through breath, through dancing, through sex, through community, just through all of these very, very human interactions that I just really wish I was able to make the center point of my life, rather than survival. And so I made this piece kind of incorporating that traditional weaving pattern along with my own art style, just as a bit of prayer, that I can inhabit that love and that freedom and that openness more proactively in my day-to-day life. Because right now it feels very scary to do so, and I have to be very intentional with that practice if I want to inhabit it. But I can feel it growing inside me, and I think that that is a joy that I'm really happy I'm getting to share with so many other queer people in the world around me. Yeah.